my friend.
Oh, happy 420.
Happy 420 for those who partake. You're cannabis enthusiasts out there.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
But we'll recap the busy weekend, not only WrestleMania, but the NBA playoffs started. We'll get into some of that. We've got some news out of the NFL that we can cover. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Plus, it's Make You Laugh Monday. So Trevor Chavez is bringing in a guy named Tony Martin. We'll hear about that at 8 o'clock. Plus, we'll talk a little basketball with the our boy from down the hall, Mr. Snacks, the only official that I know. But he'll jump in with his comments on opening weekend, the end of the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe every game in the first round has gotten down through game one. We'll talk about that with Snacks. You can call or jump in anytime at 661-842-2000.
If you were watching basketball over the weekend, you noticed really only one major upset, which we'll get to. And I tried to warn you guys last week. When you look at how this team is made when it comes to the Detroit Pistons, very young, very talented, with a great coach. Great defensive-minded coach, and JB Bickerstaff. The only problem with JB Bickerstaff that I've had, and this is coming as a Cleveland fan, regular season shows up. It really does. The great record, the great statistics. Postseason, not so much.
This is James Harden?
Yeah, kind of.
But James Harden didn't look good for this first game of the playoffs.
Again, I'm not, as a Cleveland fan, I'm not expecting James Harden to play at all in the playoffs.
I mean,
being honest.
I've heard a lot with not only Harden, but the same with Donovan.
Yeah, well, Donovan, though, has a history of stepping up in the playoffs when needed. So I have faith that Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, those guys will step up when needed. James Harden, not so much. But again, you guys have heard me say that ad nauseum when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll get into the NBA playoffs because it has been a pretty entertaining first round so far, as almost every major team that you would think we're supposed to win won, outside of the Lakers. The Lakers surprising the rest of us on Saturday, pulling off the first game against the Houston Rockets. Granted, Houston didn't have KD, but also granted, the Lakers didn't have Austin Reeves or Luka. So who really is more shorthanded here? Is it LeBron James and the Lakers, or is it the Sengun-led Rockets? We'll get into that at some point. However, I know you guys didn't like us on Friday, but it is what it is. We're going to have to get this out of the way. WrestleMania was over the weekend. WrestleMania 42, live from Las Vegas. Myself, Kimball, Sparky all sat down yesterday for night 2 to watch it. We apologize we didn't get the stream out, but we figured it'd probably be easiest if we just kind of saved our thoughts and set it today and tomorrow when KG gets in here. Plus, legally, I'm pretty sure the WWE would have came after us. So we just decided to say, you know what, let's dodge the legal battle. Let's make sure Papa Paul is not angry with us, and we'll just talk about it the next day, just like everybody else is. Well, unless you're on the internet and then you're talking about it last night. But it is what it is. It was a fantastic WrestleMania filled with a ton of surprises. What was the biggest one to you, my friend? I know what mine was.
I mean, obviously, I would say the retirement.
Yes, I have to agree. I think that's the top one for me. Brock Lesnar, everybody's favorite UFC fighter, WWE wrestler, whatever you want to know him as, failed NFL player, had hung it up on Sunday. Nobody really saw this coming. If you were curious about WrestleMania at all, you got to watch the first hour of both night 1 and night 2 live on ESPN. So if you were watching live on ESPN yesterday around Sparky, 2-3 o'clock, somewhere in that area,
a little bit after 3, it was the I mean, I don't know if it was the retirement or him tearing up, but either way, it was tough for a fan of any type of combat sport.
Absolutely. And I think KG said it perfectly yesterday. I don't think I've ever seen Brock Lesnar get emotional, period. I mean, granted, yes, there's an emotion on his face and it's rage, but when it comes to crying and actually getting emotional when he hears the fans chant his name, I mean, it was one of those situations where you felt for the guy. You really did. He's been a part of this family since he was, I think, 21, if I remember correctly, early 20s, went through OVW with John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista, was immediately brought up to the main roster as a powerhouse. He was the youngest WWE champion at the time and has since really been the dominant force of this company even beating guys like The Undertaker at WrestleMania, doing the impossible. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting a retirement. You guys have heard us talk about it. We were expecting him to stretch this into SummerSlam in July, where he probably would have had his last match, which with who we thought would be Gunther in some sort of fashion. But this one kind of took everybody by surprise. He right after the match with Obafemi, where he got destroyed, absolutely manhandled for the first time, probably in his WWE career. And he just decided at that point, you see him taking the gloves off, and I think in unison, all three of us, including Ghostface, who was sitting there watching with us as well, just said, no way. This is it for the Beast. And now the WWE has a brand new Beast in Obafemi, who they're already trying to line up against the new champion in Roman Reigns.
I saw that.
Which we, again, told you guys was probably going to be in the cards as soon as he took out someone like the Beast. Now we're headed for Roman Reigns level guys, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. I mean, usually there is I mean, for the lack of a better term for it, feeder system for the WWE. There are traditions that you usually go through. Young guys get a lot of popularity, a lot of pop, as we like to call it, and they get called up to the main roster. Usually they got to go through the hoops. Usually you see them get tagged up with one of the major veterans at the time to learn a little bit, or maybe even lose a handful of lesser championship bouts, like you've seen Trick Williams go through a couple times now. Not with Oba. They're ready for this boy. They're ready for this boy to be a top tier talent in this entire industry. They know what they have. And after watching the post show yesterday, he's ready for it, man.
Oh, yeah.
He is ready.
I mean, not every day you get a guy like Oba.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, Obafemi, for those who don't know, is an up-and-coming WWE wrestler. He's only 27 years old. We looked this up yesterday just because we were curious how his size compares to other talent in the football realm. Because if you were watching the pump-up video for this entire match, Nick Saban was even called upon. Why? Because Obafemi is a former shot putter at the University of Alabama, where he won multiple SEC championships. That's really where he kind of got the the eyes on him of the WWE, because everybody saw the power this kid had, the ferocity, and they were all wondering, how the hell did Nick Saban not get this guy to play football?
Right.
He's 6'6", 300 pounds.
Struck out on that one.
Absolutely. Nick Saban even said it. How the hell did we let this guy slip away? He was from Nigeria. Apparently they don't do a lot of recruiting in Nigeria when it comes to Alabama, so they missed this kid. It is what it is. But he ranks up there with most defensive tackles in the NFL. We looked him up against guys like Dexter Lawrence, Vita Vea. He would have held up more than likely when it comes to weight and class. So this guy is bigger than life. He is ready for that responsibility. I'm excited to see what they do with this kid's career. That was arguably the biggest surprise, in my opinion, as well, was Brock Lesnar's retirement. Other things you saw, we talked about Bianca Belair on Friday and how severely she's been going through her injury with her hand. Her knuckle was broken months ago, and it is healed in a way where she might not even be able to wrestle ever again. Some have even gone as far to say she may lose the finger. I don't think it's that serious, but wrestling in terms of locks and like locking people in safely and all of that, it does take a lot of hand strength. So we'll see if she can actually bounce back. But it's not going to be for the next, what, Sparky? 6-7 months?
At
as
least.
She came out and said she is pregnant and is starting to show as a baby bump. Actually, it's probably way less than 6 months, if I'm being honest. But if you want to add in the post birth time, especially as a first time mother, I'm sure she's going to want to spend a lot of time with that baby. So we're probably not going to see her for another 6-7 months. But at least it's in a positive light now, rather than everybody worried that an injury is what's going to be leaving out one of the women's division's best wrestlers. And again, I said this to Sparky yesterday. I would rather know that she's out healing from a pregnancy,
right,
and bringing life into this world than hearing people speculate on the internet that she might lose a finger because we haven't seen her wrestle in a couple months. It was really starting to get a little dark and gloomy for Bianca Belair and the EST of the WWE. And then the final major thing that happened yesterday that I think, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, becomes champion again. And as they said during the PLE yesterday, and as our friend Kimball Wood said, and probably will say many times tomorrow, The world is right again.
It is.
The Samoans have a title.
And he did it on his own.
Yes, he did. There was no help. There was no need for the twins to come out and save him. There was no need for the family to get involved. And that was probably the best part, too, because if we were going to go back to this whole bloodline thing where he can't do it on his own, there's going to be a lot of people talking, saying, oh, you know, your big bad guy can't do anything by himself. And there's a little bit of truth. There's a little bit of truth to that. I'm not going to lie. The long 1,000-day reign, vast majority of that reign was because the cousins came out and made sure that title stayed where it stayed. So we'll see what happens.
Do you think, I mean, with all the big names out right now, do you think we're going to see a long term with the belt?
No, I think that we're going to see a lot of what Cody's going through right now on the opposite side of it. We're going to see a lot of bouncing that belt around and building a little bit of luster to it, a little bit. You know what I mean? Building a little bit of more prestige behind it. I think you're seeing that a lot right now with the women's intercontinental belt, which Sparky called absolutely correctly. Becky Lynch pulling it off and winning her belt back. I think that we're going to see a lot of that when it comes to this belt, because this is a newer belt, the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the title itself, not new in the WWE, but the belt that they have created to kind of mimic the old school WCW belt, brand new. So they need to build a little more luster around it. They need to build a little more just a more in-depth championship list, I suppose, to really make this belt feel bigger than it is. And who better to start that? I mean, who better to start that than Seth Rollins, who had it at first, but who better to continue that and to really continue to pass it along to the next big guy, probably Obafemi at some point. And
it's coming.
Yeah, we see maybe dance around with this belt 2 to 3 to 4 times as they pass it to Oba. Maybe Oba passes it to Breaker. Breaker passes it to LA Knight. You know, we're going to get a couple people be able to touch this belt here, I think, within the next year. And that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. I know the WWE thinks that if you have one champion for a long, long time, you make a lot of money. And with guys like Roman Reigns, maybe that's the case. But when you allow your other wrestlers to really get that rub and get the gold standard across their waist, it makes them look better. It makes their opponents look tougher when they beat them, in my opinion. And overall just builds the story. We don't have to watch the same 2 to 3 guys hold on to a belt for a year and a half, 2 years. So we'll see.
Speaking of, how many title changes did we see? I know we saw what
down the list.
We saw 3 yesterday, I believe.
So the women's tag got moved. They moved those to the Bellas and Paige, which was another major surprise for those of you who are longer term fans and maybe have fallen off. But Paige is back. She has returned to WWE. It was at 3 a night on both nights. Wow, that's more than usual. 6 title changes in one PLE is not normal for the WWE.
Saturday we got it was Liv, Becky
in the tag,
and then
the
Sunday,
men's side,
Roman,
Trick, Roman, and Bria.
There you go.
All 3 of them were desperately needed, I think, on the Sunday card, though, because
was it surprise with Trick? Because the more I thought of it, I was like, maybe that's why they moved it so quick and got it off of Mello, because we talked about Mello's personal vacation or personal stuff he needed to take care of. Why not throw it on Sammy, let him lose it to Trick at WrestleMania?
And it doesn't hurt Mello at all losing to Trick. I get the reasoning behind that as well.
And as you guys have said, as of NXT fans, maybe that's what we see next is Trick and Mello. Maybe they work it up too. That's where we're going to see it SummerSlam.
You know, it didn't at first. It surprised me that he won, but then I had to sit there and think, well, Trick has actually been in some major matches in the last couple months for the main title, for the WWE title. So losing those, I think, could still count as the losses necessary for a young talent to kind of come back to earth. And it really depends which direction they want to take Trick Williams, because it seems like the fans really want him to be a face, but the character itself very much is a heel. So we'll see what happens. Carmelo right now is a face, and very, very rarely do you ever see the WWE put 2 faces or 2 heels in a ring together. It doesn't normally work. You have to have a good guy and a bad guy. So unless they're going to give us a 3-way with Sammy in the middle of this, which is entirely possible, I really don't know if the next one we're gonna get is gonna be a Trick and Carmelo. I think Trick and Mello would be great for SummerSlam, though.
Yeah. And I
Fantastic
mean,
SummerSlam.
just like anytime, 24-hour social media, a PLE, they're always going to be complaining.
Oh yeah.
But just as a fan, was there one thing on either day that was like, okay, let's get through this?
The get through this.
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's nothing special. I mean, there is a lot of people complaining about
I'm
it.
gonna have a lot of people on my throat for saying this, but the Page return, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get through this.
And
don't
a big
care.
shout out to our boy Kyle Pitzer and Dionysus. I went out there Saturday with Ghostface, watched the first night, and a great crowd. But Paige, when she came out, they had a fan there
Yes.
that was just losing his mind.
And that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I know she has a deep, deep following. Our mutual friend Adam Resendez from This Isn't Chicken podcast. By the way, go follow them. They got to go out to WrestleMania and they gave you a vlog of what went down for their day on Thursday. Got to meet a lot of these wrestlers. It was a fantastic episode. Go check it out.
I know he was not happy with the Jade change.
Not at all. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. Me and him have had conversations about wrestling and we differ a lot.
Me too.
A lot. And that's fine. I'm all for it.
Well, that's why it's there.
For those who don't know who Paige is, if you remember a movie a couple years ago called Fighting with My Family that starred Florence Pugh, okay, that is the literal story of Saraya or Paige, who at the time was arguably the leader of the women's revolution in the NXT. It was her, it was Charlotte, it was Becky. I mean, it was Bailey. They were it was one that you'll see on AEW right now, Mercedes Moné, who at the time was named Sasha Banks. There's a ton of women that deserve credit for the revolution, in my opinion. But Saraya was definitely at the spear point of it. She was the first ever Divas champion and NXT Women's champion. She was huge at the time, but then walked away from the company. She had problems with drugs and a couple other things, not because of her own upbringing, but more because of the people who were around her and influencing her at the time. She went through a rough patch, went to AEW, didn't do much there, and is now back with the WWE since being, sober and healed. I've gotten a lot of grief because I kind of keep her off of my Rushmore of women's wrestlers in the WWE, not because of lack of talent, but more because it's the same thing with CM Punk. If you're not there the whole time and there's a long gap while all the rest of these women are building, that's on you. And I can't necessarily put you ahead of women that stuck around, the Baileys, Beckys, and Charlotte Flairs. I'm sorry, I can't.
So is that one that fell short for you?
Not necessarily fell short. Super happy to see her back in the company and can't wait to see what she does, even though they kind of gave her persona to Rhea Ripley. And now we're going to have to figure out what happens there because you can't have two wrestlers that are pretty much the same woman. But I just, it's the same thing going into this match. They did that to save the match. They put Paige in this match to save this match because there was no hype around this at all. No, everybody really could not care less if this was on the card. And that's kind of how I felt about it even when she came out. I saw it as a cheap little fan grab. They said, oh, look, Paige is back. She's going to help us win this title. They ended up winning the title, which is great for her. Again, another time where when she comes into the WWE, she wins a belt right away. That's awesome. But did it help the match any? Did it save the match any? Did it make the wrestlers look any less rough in the ring together in this impromptu fatal four-way tag match that usually doesn't happen this way, but still for some reason had rules, even though it was a fatal four-way match? I was just like, this entire thing just did not do it for me. Like, it really didn't. The women's tag match didn't do it for me at all in night one. Night two, I guess the only one that would really highlight that would be Sammy and Trick. But even then, that was more entertaining than I honestly expected.
And see, with me, I could agree with the four-way. I was happy because we got to see Trick get over. But one thing that fell short for me anyways, I know there was a lot of people complaining about the rush matches on night one which I understand it's WrestleMania,
We
man.
can
They've
have
got
a 4-hour Mania too. I don't know why. Why maybe it's just the venue itself keeps them to a specific amount of time.
And the
But
more the rumors I heard was the comedy show and that people that were
yeah, the
at the
Tony
event
Hinchcliffe stuff
had to get
afterwards.
across town to
Which
get to this event.
Tony took a choke slam from the dead man too
Did he?
through a Kill Tony video or through a Kill Tony table. I'll send you the video later, my friend. But
The
it
one
was pretty
that
entertaining.
fell short for me was the Jacob Fatu Drew match. I
A
don't.
little bit.
I just
But again, it's
they're
like what we
going
talked
it over and over, and I feel like they're almost. It's like Drew is just just a staple match. He's gonna break some stuff. We didn't get to see blood in that match either, but it was an intense match. It didn't need to be there.
It's just the unsanctioned thing. It still doesn't make sense to me. For it to be at a WrestleMania event, it has to be sanctioned, and just call it what it is. I mean, we called it 18 different names throughout its time in the WWE. Whether you want to call it a no DQ, no rules, hardcore, bloodline match, doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. No rules. The only reason the ref's out there is to count to 3 or to acknowledge that someone tapped out. Why can we not just call it that? Why especially Jacob's part of the bloodline? Why not just call it a bloodline match?
Right.
But again,
I see Cody's hide tonight too.
Yeah, no kidding. And if he even shows up, they may wait on him until Friday. But I mean, was there an appearance that you were hoping for this weekend though that you didn't get?
I was hoping to see The Rock. I was hoping to see a little Stone Cold. I know Stone Cold was there. There was some videos coming out. He
of
was
him signing stuff. Did you see the
going
one
to the bars and smashing beer on his head and all sorts of stuff? But
did you see the video of him signing somebody's 1999, I think, King of the Ring, whichever one that he won?
Oh, the original one?
Yeah, someone had a chair from that King of the Ring that he signed and put the entire the speech on there,
right
the
on.
Austin 316 speech.
Where Jake the Snake was walking out.
Absolutely. I thought that was really cool because you could tell it's legit too, because if you're not a long-term wrestling fan, what you do when you go to these PLE events, especially if you get to sit ringside, is they let you take the seat home. It's a little foldable chair, but they're usually customized with, something on the seat or something. And somebody had walked up with an old school 1995, 96. I can't remember what year it was. Don't come for me. But at this point, it was just really cool to see a piece of history, because if you know wrestling history, that's where Austin 316 got started. Austin 316 said, "I just whooped your ass." That's where that all started.
That's what it started.
And for him to still have that, you could still see the red metal that they used with it. It was just awesome, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And I saw the story after night one that fans were actually, everyone saw, which we could pass on it, but the list or the fan that got a little touchy. But I know after night one, there was a big group of people that they ended up having to arrest at Allegiant Stadium because they were taking the chairs. And I guess I had to ask some questions. I was like, well, I thought they got the chairs, but there's a certain section
that gets to keep theirs.
They get the chairs. Not everybody, because they don't want 40, 50,000 people walking around with chairs after the match.
True, but the way I was thinking about it was maybe only after day 2 do you get to take these as well, because obviously they don't want to have to
well, I guess they have a colored format. They had red ones and they had blue ones.
So the red ones got to be taken and the blue ones didn't. Or
and the blue ones for night 2.
That makes sense.
So they're like, whoa. And they got ugly with that. I think they were trying to be respectful in the beginning, but people got pushy and you get 50,000 people at an event like this.
Yes, absolutely. And they're going to fight for every dang thing they could walk away with because of the amount of money that you made them pay to actually buy those tickets. And let's be honest, vast majority of the wrestling fans probably bought these tickets super early before they were discounted at a premium rate. So I know I got a couple friends, I should say, that were down there for the event. And one of them was actually in the area next to the stage. I meant to actually hit him up and see how he enjoyed those seats. He's, from what I could tell on his social media, it seemed like he enjoyed it. And we talked about it last year. If you remember, WrestleMania had a set of seats that were literally on top of the stage because there was a little awning part of the stage that they had built and they were putting fans up there. I believe Kyle Pitzer actually was one of the guys that got to go sit up there, and he told us how he enjoyed it from that angle. Instead of doing that this year, They kind of just narrowed the walkway and put everybody where they traditionally would be at a wrestling match, right next to the entrance, which is cool. But I always kind of see those as the worst seats because you can't see the ring very well. There are, depending on how far away. And they're claiming that the ring walk down for WrestleMania this year was 75 yards.
Oh, it was huge.
It was long. I don't know if it was 75 yards though, because I was looking at KG after the show when they were talking about that. And I said, so you're going to sit there and tell me that the walk ramp for WrestleMania went from the end zone of one side to the 25-yard line of the opposite side of the field. That's a hell of a runway. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I am saying that Braun Breaker ran down that thing in night one, hauling ass. A man that goes 24, 25 miles an hour off the ropes. I don't know, man. That was a long run for him. Maybe it was, but he got to Seth Rollins pretty dang quick.
Oh, you could tell because that was a long walk and people were prepping for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just happy certain people didn't have to crawl down the thing the entire way. They just let him kind of do his thing. And I think KG was right. There was a little piece of Finn Balor that just wasn't in it when he was the demon.
He was not.
He was like,
I don't think he was digging it.
I would have rather been here as the prince, but because the WWE needs some sort of allure to me, I'll do it as the demon. But again, 14-3 is a record for the demon. I don't see that ending anytime soon. It's one of the most protected personas in the entire wrestling world, let alone the WWE itself. And shoot, Finn Balor might be the first person in a long time to go down to the WWE as two separate people. He could go down as Finn Balor and as the demon. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's take a break. We'll get into some other sports stuff on the other side. The NBA playoffs have begun, so we'll break down for you what happened over the weekend. The Detroit Pistons look like they might be in trouble, and I tried to warn you guys of this last week. I told you there was one team that both of those play-in teams in the 7 and 8 seed on the Eastern Conference did not want to see, and that was the Boston Celtics. But there was one team that they did want to see, and that was the Detroit Pistons. And we'll explain exactly why Detroit lost last night in convincing fashion to the Orlando Magic. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. The NBA playoffs have begun. We got the play-in tournament late last week, so round one of the playoffs began on Saturday. The vast majority of your top 1 through 4 seeds won over the weekend, except for one, and that's the Detroit Pistons, the number 1 overall seed on the Eastern Conference. I told you guys last week I was worried about this team solely because I trust in JB Bickerstaff, but his playoff record, his playoff performances haven't really given you the success that you want. And this is coming from a Cavaliers fan, JB Bickerstaff being the former head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Turned around that franchise. He really did. Created a defensive mindset that the Cavaliers needed. Gave the leadership that Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and a lot of young pieces desperately needed at the time, and helped create what we see in Cleveland today. However, when you look at his overall record in the playoffs, which is now 9-19, 9-19. Nobody, I for some reason was listening to every NBA show last week, every single one, when they talked about the Detroit Pistons, and waiting for one person to bring this up. Just one. Anybody. I could have, even if it was Kendrick freaking Perkins. I really didn't care who it was. But I tried to tell you guys last week, don't trust the Pistons' success. Don't do it. And for those of you who are thinking, well, clearly the Stars just didn't play well. Cade Cunningham almost had 40. And they lost 112-101. 112-101. Lost by 11 points. Paolo Banchero barely had 23 points. And I say barely because he had to work his way there. For some reason, I don't know if it's just the lack of offensive depth, but he was 6-11. 6-11 with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is now 9-19 as a whole. Anybody want to do the math on that? Oh, no. That's 32% of the time. 32. And now they have to go up against an Orlando Magic team that has been to the playoffs multiple times, has taken on teams like the Celtics and pushed them to their brink. In fact, I'm pretty sure that this Magic team pushed a JB Bickerstaff-led Cavaliers team to the brink as well, if not beat them a couple years ago. I can't remember exactly how that ended. I'm pretty sure Cleveland snuck it out, but it doesn't matter. At this point, worry about the Detroit Pistons. I know everybody was talking about this team as, oh, the bad boy Pistons are back. Don't take it that far. Not to say they're not talented enough to get there. Duran and Cade and this entire team are very talented. And will they win a game? Probably. But do not be surprised when the Orlando Magic sweep this team on back home. Because this is a team that was 31-9 at home this year in the regular season and got dog walked in game 1. They were down at the end of the first quarter, 35-27. And no, it never got close after that. So trust me, this ain't going to end the way you guys think it will for the Detroit Pistons. It'll most likely end in an early exit. And we're all going to be sitting here scratching our head wondering, what happened? Even though Burdick's been telling you guys for over a week now, this is about as pretender as it gets. There's only one team in the East that everybody should be deathly afraid of, and that's the Boston Celtics. Everybody else, beatable. Absolutely beatable. The West Coast, we got about 3 or 4 teams that look like they could be chomping at the bit to get to the finals. Unfortunately, only one of them is actually going to get there.
And who's that?
I still have to say Thunder.
I'm leaning on Thunder, but I have a weird feeling that Denver is going to give them a hard time. And San Antonio, after last night's win, which we weren't really expecting, but the big surprise was the Lakers coming together and pulling a game out against the Houston Rockets, which
impressively too.
Everybody was like, what? Durant's out? What? It was all last minute. And now there's news that he could miss game 2.
And if they do, they're in trouble because, again, Lakers won on Saturday 107-98 behind Luke Kennard 5 for 5 from three. I believe he ended with somewhere around 20 something points. A fantastic game from him. And they also desperately need Luka and Austin Reeves back if they're going to be making anything happen in this run. I didn't expect Kevin not to be playing. Kevin was kept out due to a right knee contusion. Like Sparky said, this was a very last second thing. And luckily for the Lakers, that was enough for them to find an edge and really get the better of a young Rockets team led by Sengun and Jabari Smith and a lot of these big guys that are looking to still kind of grow. Although if you read the tweets from earlier this year from Kevin Durant, I'm not 100% sure exactly how much growth is happening in Houston. I'm now starting to worry, though, about the Rockets. If you were sitting there thinking, like that the Lakers were going to have a hard time pulling off this series, especially without Luka and Austin Reeves. If this continues, the Lakers and LeBron might be able to pull this off. LeBron ended with 19 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds. So he's the triple-double monster he usually is. But do you think that the Lakers are going to have an easier chance here? I mean, even if Kevin comes back, because if they're up 2-0 going back to Houston, you still have a very good chance of pulling out at least one of those games.
I think the Lakers pull this series out. I also think the Pistons come back in it, but I also think, depending on Durant coming back, on really depending on how far this series goes.
Yeah, I mean,
I know a lot of people that were taking, even Bolt was saying, the Rockets probably in 6, Rockets in 5. And looking at the 8 games of the first round, I wasn't too shocked with any of them, really. And I think a lot of them are going to be landslides, like the big games, like where the big teams, whether it's Cleveland, San Antonio, these teams like this, OKC, steamrolling, which we weren't shocked. But I think, like you mentioned, the Magic, Pistons, I think the Lakers, Rockets are going to be a tougher series.
It's the Lakers, Rockets now. To me, I was honestly surprised with with the Rockets losing Kevin Durant. I did not think it was going to be that much of a step backwards. Not to say Kevin's not a key pivotal piece of the offense. He averages 25, 26 a night. But I figured Sengun or somebody would be able to step up to make up for it. But now I'm starting to think that all those tweets that Kevin was, well, again, we shouldn't say Kevin was tweeting him because it's a burner account and we don't know who runs that burner account. Quotes happening here for those of you who are not paying attention. Quotes happening here. We have no idea who runs those burner accounts. Yes, we do. But I'm not sure if this young Rockets team has the mentality necessary to actually make a deep playoff run without a Kevin Durant, because as we've seen and heard from somebody within the organization, there might be a little bit of a learning gap here that's not happening. And with them leaning on a 26, 27 point Kevin Durant every night, you do actually need this young, or I shouldn't say young, this young core needs this veteran to step up and be the leader in scoring in order for them to be successful. Really, now it's coming down to it's a race between the injured players. Who comes back first? Does Kevin come back first and swing this series back to the Rockets? Or does Luka come back first and really just lock this in for the Lakers? Because if either of those two men show up on the basketball court, I'm pretty sure this series swings drastically to the other end. We'll see what happens. It's a bad sign that Kevin might be out for game 2, in my opinion. But I mean, there's a little bit of peace in me here that says Sengun has dropped 30 in the past, especially during playoff time. So maybe he steps up. It's going to take a big, big game from one of those guys, though. And on the opposite side, if you're a Laker fan, because I know we had a couple Laker fans text us, or at least me, and say, oh, you can't sleep on Kennard. I love that you guys have faith in your players. I really do. I love that about LA fans. But y'all talk about this as if Kennard's been dropping 5 for 5 the entire season. The likelihood of this man being perfect from 3 in every game against the Rockets is very unlikely. Very unlikely.
And the other game I wanted to bring up before we took our break was the Knicks and Atlanta, which, I mean, there was a lot of talk, even with Stephen A. Smith, who is a Knicks fan, was nervous about this series. And the Knicks, I mean, they seemed to be playing well. They played as a team. We saw what Cat, when he comes in and plays well, this Knicks team could be could be in the mix. I just don't know how deep this team can get in when it matters. They could get by Atlanta. I'm not surprised with that one
Yeah.
at all. But I'm talking about in the deeper rounds with teams like whether it's Boston, Cleveland. I mean, that East is pretty much up, and a lot of teams are a lot of basketball fans are leaning on Boston coming out of the East, and
Right.
I think people forgot all about Cleveland. It just seems like they've overlooked Cleveland, and Cleveland looks like they're playing good basketball, man.
Cleveland has lucked out because that being the 4 seed, they have a pretty good chance of beating the Raptors. And now, depending on who comes out of the 1-8 matchup, which you just heard what I think, pretty sure it's going to be the Orlando Magic pulling that out. You're right. They have a good chance to make it to the finals if all things go well. If we're talking about the Knicks, you have an easy walkthrough when it comes to the Hawks. I don't think the Hawks are really that good. I think they kind of mimic a lot of what we've seen with the Orlando Magic. Very young, very talented, and defensive minded, but it doesn't really transition to the
Not
playoffs.
a championship team quite yet.
Not just quite yet, but that's why I'm also thinking Atlanta might be still one of those one of those heavy teams that go, or sorry, one of those teams that go heavy for Giannis Antetokounmpo in the offseason, because we're talking about a team that is maybe one player away from being one of those teams in the East. I think the Hawks are definitely around that area. But when it comes to the Knicks getting past this round, guess who they have next? The same team we were just talking about a couple minutes ago. The only team in the East that's really the biggest scare to everybody, not even just the East, but to the West as well. That's the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics in round 2. I mean, again, Boston has already showed the Knicks many times in the last couple years exactly why they are built better than the Knicks are, or really maybe just comes down to culture. I really don't know if it's a roster thing or a culture thing.
It's probably a little both.
Probably a little both. You're probably right. But they are going to be sent home in the second round. I'm sorry. If you're a Knicks fan listening to me right now, I'm just trying to be honest with you, bro. Look, you have a great roster. You got the Villanova boys. You look fantastic on paper, but it's the Boston damn Celtics. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I mean, they didn't have Jason for 60% of the season and still look like the Boston Celtics. And then what did they do to get better? They traded pieces during the season to bolster the front court, led now by Vukovic. So the back court, led by Brown, could just do what they do at the 3-point line and chalk up more 3-pointers than the vintage dynasty Warriors. And by the way, they hit just as many as those Warriors do too. So this team is scary. And honestly, I don't think the Knicks have what it takes to really keep up. Brunson is going to have to pull some vintage Brunson against the Boston Celtics and drop about 40 to 50 every single night
per night
in order for them to have a fighting chance. And does anybody believe that's in the cards?
It could happen. I
You
just
know
hate
what?
the Celtics, so
You know what?
I think it'll be a hell of a series.
If you're right on that one, Sparky, and that happens, I will eat every bit of my words and we'll do something crazy on air. I don't
I'm
know
just
exactly
wondering
what I got to
because
do.
I mean, with Mike Brown, I mean, if he comes out and then chokes against Boston, what did you do this offseason? You got rid of Tibbs, thinking it was the coaching, and you come up and
imagine
come
them
up short against Boston.
Imagine them coming up short, or shorter, I should say, than last season. Because last season they made it at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. So,
and then that will be the team keeping an eye out on Giannis.
Absolutely. But again, is even trading for Giannis going to be what you need in New York to get over the hump? I feel like that's the case for teams like Atlanta. But you have star power in New York. You have plenty of star power in New York. That's not your problem. I just genuinely think the Knicks have it in their head that there is some sort of, it's got to be a curse, man. I don't know if Danhausen, whoever cursed all of New York sports. I know they're trying to get Danhausen to lift the curses on the Jets right now and many other teams in New York, the Mets. Maybe they need to do the Knicks too. Because at this point, I mean, I don't know what the problem is, but somebody has cursed the entire New York sports organization conglomerate that it is. I just don't get it. You have the star power, but you're running into the Boston Celtics. I mean, we heard the Syracuse women's coach this past offseason with the March Madness tournament complain about having to face UConn so often. Surprised the Knicks haven't done the same when it comes to Boston. But I say the exact same thing I said about that coach. You still haven't figured this out yet? You still haven't figured out a way to beat them yet, huh? Starting to believe you never will. And honestly, I don't know if that's more on you as a coach, the organization, the roster. I can't necessarily blame the roster because you guys have studs. So it really comes down to, is it the coaching problem, which we're about to find out with the Mike Brown situation, as Sparky was just highlighting, or the front office? You may have to sell that team and do a ton of other stuff too, just to make sure that you guys actually even make it to a finals. Let's take a break real quick. We got a ton to get to on the other side before our guests get here.
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence has finally found a new home. But are the Bengals actually going to pay this man? As we have wondered so many off seasons in the past when it comes to guys in Cincinnati. We will give our thoughts on the other side before we get to our guests. Oh, the day, Mage Laugh Monday coming up at 8 o'clock, and our guy Snacks talking more basketball at 8:30. This is Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Happy 420, everybody. Go watch Friday. That's one of my favorites. And yes, it counts. Friday, Grandma's Boy, How High, Half Baked.
Half baked the one.
Half Baked is so good. Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, the Dexter Lawrence trade, we talked about that. He was
Yes.
requested a trade, and surprisingly, I thought the
I didn't.
Bengals pulled the trigger, and now the Giants have 2 first-round picks in the top 10.
Yeah, good for them. Again,
Do you like the trade?
I do. I didn't expect it to happen. You guys heard me a couple weeks ago say that I expected them to figure out a deal because this is just modern day, contract negotiations. But maybe because it's been going on for multiple years, it actually led to a demand of a trade.
And they paid him.
Yes, and the biggest thing that I have to worry about here, though, is how long is Cincy actually going to pay this boy? Because as we talked about with the Trey Hendrickson situation, you weren't willing to pay him, and he was the top sack man in the entire NFL for 2 years, almost 3 if he was actually healthy for that last one. But maybe this helps the defensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe they feel like just grabbing a veteran defensive tackle fits better than picking up a rookie in this draft class, since last year they had trouble signing their first round draft pick too. Just throwing that out there. But hey. I think this helps, but I don't know if this actually gets them over the hump. I think this will be a good talking point for the Bengals, but does it make them better than the Ravens or the Steelers? Not so much, or at least not to me.
And the Steelers came out this morning expecting to not hear from Aaron Rodgers until after the draft.
No kidding. The draft is on Thursday, and you haven't heard nothing yet. Go draft Ty Simpson and stop with this boy, please. Can we just stop with the Aaron Rodgers nonsense? Let's take a break. Our friends from Major Life Monday will be on the other side. And then our friend Snacks, our basketball official, will be with us at 8:30. Talk about the NBA playoffs a little bit more. This is the Early Bird Special. We'll be right back. We'll be back in about 5. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. Actually, I need to figure out what JR, the call letters are going to be changing here pretty soon. So actually, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying that anymore. But this is Sports Talk 101.1 FM, and it's time to talk to our friends over at Made You Laugh Mondays. Trevor's here this week.
Hey, morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Good morning, sir. How are you? How's everything?
Doing great. Just busy again as usual. Had the Slice of Italy show yesterday and doing the mic tonight and recording Rolling with Comics tomorrow.
Before we get to your guest, how was the Slice of Italy show? We had Ken and Eli on last week.
It was a solid show, man. It was a fun show. Things got a little squirrely for me at the beginning because it was one of those crowds that didn't get my references out of the gate, and I was like, "Oh, let me go back to the old material." Got the one good pop, and I was like, "All right, we're off to the races."
See, and that's all it takes is one good joke, and you can actually pull them all back in from what we understand.
Yeah.
Who'd you bring with you this week?
This week, I brought with me one of my favorite comedians from Tulare, right?
Tulare area.
One of my favorite Tulare comics. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy that I've worked with many a times, my favorite wild man, Tony Martins.
Tony, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, brother. Glad to be here so early in the morning.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you guys, and we get that from every single comedian. Y'all do not go to bed early.
No, this is bedtime.
Right?
I was chuckling. I was chuckling to myself on the way here. You know, when you're a comic that's struggling in life and you make little dumb jokes to yourself. I'm like, yeah, getting up early, it's for the birds. And I'm like, well, isn't there like a saying about the early bird? I mean, It's not what they do, stupid.
Yep.
This is a McDonald's dust time.
Absolutely. There's still a little bit of dew on the grass and stuff like that. It's beautiful in the morning.
You smell eggs.
See, you know what's funny is that the last couple of weeks, my yard has been absolutely infested with snails. Have no idea where they go during the day. But every morning I think to myself, it's like, is that dew or is that just snail lines? It's just absolutely ridiculous. Tony, we'd like to understand how you guys got started in comedy and what inspired you. So how long have you been in the game and what got you on stage?
Well, first of all, that's a question I was always taught that when somebody asks you how long you've been doing, you always tell them, long enough to know I need to get better, sir. Because when you go to these clubs and you tell them how long you've been in, they start judging you by that number and stuff like that.
Very true.
But for real, for me, it's been almost 12 years now.
Okay.
Nice. But 12 years and actual 4 years of grinding comedy, then the rest of just self-sabotaging and destroying myself and burning bridges.
Trying to figure out a way to make it all work, man. That's how it works.
So immature growing up as a comic.
What got you inspired to just get on stage and give it a shot?
Well, I had nowhere else to go in life. I was, at that time I was managing a gas station and selling drugs, and I was at the end of my rope, and I was in a band with a bunch of guys who were way more talented than me. They were literally teaching me how to play the keys just so I could, and I'm like, you know what? This is not it. This is not it. And then everybody, I was always the guy that held court at parties and they're like, hey, try comedy. I'm like, shut up. And then I did it, and that's my new drug.
That is fantastic. Well, okay. How was your first experience like? Was it an open mic? How'd you get started?
It was a friend's birthday party at a band thing, so it was a friendly thing.
Okay.
And I'm not afraid to admit, the first time I did comedy, I went up there and bit a bunch of Doug Stanhope.
Yeah. We've heard that a couple times, though. I mean,
they were drunk, and I was new. I didn't know any better. I just wanted laughs. I didn't care. Like Mr. Little Italy over here. I went up there trying to do my own stuff. Hey, look at me. Nothing went. So
not a big thing.
Let me do something proven.
What did you pull from something that you knew was just a good joke, or did you try to take from stand-ups you had watched?
It was a Doug Stanhope joke that I know would work.
I'm sorry. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
If you bite from Doug Stanhope and you're in a bar full of drunk people, it's gonna work.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. In your 12 years, where have you been? Where can people find you?
Well, my special Tony Martin's Exeter is on my YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, other than that, I've been just grinding here in the Central Valley, again, burning bridges. I've banned in clubs I've never been in.
Well, hopefully not the Well. But...
No, I love the Well. I actually opened for Jim Norton when Jim
Norton fantastic. How was that experience?
It was, dude, it's like performing in front of an idol. I mean, I love Jim Norton. It was awesome. And then I went up and I did Dan gave me a guest spot on both shows and killed. I did well. Little Jimmy said nice things to me.
Nice. I was just about to ask, did you get to talk to Jim at all?
Oh,
Or?
dude, it was after the first show. I went up, I killed. I was all excited. It's like, shooting ball with your, like if you were to get the, shoot hoops with Jordan and you went up there and you were 10 from 10 from 3 and you're like, yeah. And I went back to the green room and Jimmy is literally sleeping on the couch. He's sleeping. He just drove in from LA and he's getting ready to go. He has to go to be in Vegas in the morning to do radio for a show.
Right.
Little Jimmy's tired. So I go, okay, I left him alone. So then I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and then the host comes in and he's like, hey, do you think in a few minutes you can go wake up Jimmy's and tell him that he's going to go on stage, that he's up? And I'm like,
you want me to wake him up?
You want me to go wake up little Jimmy? So I go in there and there's my little idol sleeping. And I was just like, so do I do this straight? Do I just say, Mr. Norton, you're on in 10? Or do I just lay on him and breathe in his ears?
Hey, baby. Hey, time to get up.
Hey, Jimmy, it's time.
I would have paid money to see
I
that.
would've
I
too.
would have
So
paid
good.
money.
He probably never would have showed up
Oh,
to the well
no,
again,
never.
but that would have been so
But that would have been
great.
a story he would be telling on Anthony and
Oh,
Oprah and Opie for
100%. You would be
years.
part of his bit for years.
And
These
man.
weird Bakersfield comedians never go to Bakersfield. They're insane.
And I even caught myself fanboying a little bit for him. And I'm like, Jimmy, I try to chip him a little bit. And he's like, oh, I deserve to be chipped. Because he has a character, Chip Chipperson.
Mhm.
And I love doing that character. I do it at home. I drive everybody crazy with it.
That's awesome.
And he was like, yeah. But the thing is like after the first show, I was sitting in the green room and all these people who've paid to be there, which is something I always wanted, but then they're going to pay extra just to talk to you and have you write down on a piece of paper. And then I sat down and I'm in the green room and all these people are lining up and they're all, Jimmy, we love you. You mean so much to us. For 20 years, we've been listening, blah, 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 blah. Next, Jimmy, for 20 years, we love. So when he came in after that, I go, Jimmy, I swear to God, I will never say a nice thing to you ever again. After listening to that.
All that, yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's gotta be. That is fantastic. So, is there any other comedian that you've had the opportunity to open for that you've wanted to, or is there another bucket list guy you're thinking of?
Eddie Pepitone.
Nice.
Eddie Pepitone was great. I got to open for Freeze Love. He's more of a urban comic. He was in like Friday and stuff like that. That was in my earlier run. But recently I performed at the Mothership. I did well there. I got told, hey, when you come back, hit us up. We'll get you a spot.
Nice.
That was cool. Just to see, I saw Ron White. I saw Joe Rogan in real life. Joe Rogan is a 5 apple high Smurf.
He's tiny.
I've heard that
He's a
too.
small
he's
little guy,
small.
but he's wrapped up tight. He's a 5 apple high Smurf that will send you to the hospital and bury you in medical debt.
It's like there is a reason he's into the
with
MMA
one
stuff,
little
man.
spin kick. But it's amazing what they got going on over there. Because you hear them say, oh yeah, we left LA, we left woke LA. And yet right outside the club, it's just like LA and San Francisco. It's
Right.
AIDS needles and poop piles.
It could be even worse over there at points.
Oh, it was, but again, it was wild to see that.
Right.
And like we were talking earlier about, that's my thing though. That's my next step is I just want to start traveling,
Yeah.
and just start. And I've started doing it organically, where I've learned from the lessons here. So when I leave, nobody hates me. So
Smart.
I can behave and I can be nice and they can like me and we can start doing business.
There you go. That's the
And-
smart way to go
and it's
about it,
working
man.
out. And so far, Mississippi was nice.
Okay.
South Carolina, North Carolina was nice. Georgia, North Carolina, I could do that. Their comedy scene's nice. I could fit right in. They need an angry, aggressive guy on that scene. But it was really weird traveling the country this first time. It's because as I leave, I'm trying to tell everybody, yeah, California stinks. As soon as you leave the state, gas is $1.50 cheaper. And all these people would just talk me out of it. They're all, no, stupid. It's California. Hollywood.
You know what's
San
funny?
Francisco. And I'm all, is it really worth that much to be poor in the middle of greatness?
Just the other day, what was it? Fitzsimmons last week told us the exact opposite. He was trying to talk up California and everybody was booing him. He said, "What the hell's wrong with you people?
Yeah,
you live in Ohio."
Well, how about this? He can have my crowd and I'll take his.
Say it, no kidding. Apparently, you guys got to switch.
Well, that's something we've talked to comedians. I mean, when you go to say Mississippi or shows like that, is the crowd a bit different than what you are used to here in California?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, especially, yeah, it'd be like the difference between going to a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert and a Megadeth concert.
Okay.
And a Slayer concert. It just depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
And then if you go to urban clubs, then it's a completely different ball game. But you would think, especially in the South, that things would be touchier, and I just felt like they were wide open over there. I mean,
that's all I always kind of wondered, if you go into as a comedian, have to kind of change up your set, knowing what location you're at, and so this is not Bakersfield. This is not going to hit this point as well as maybe Mississippi or Georgia.
They say you got to read your room, and you got to read your city, and you got to you got to read your location. There are jokes that I won't do in LA, or if I do it in LA, I change the flavor. Instead of vanilla frosting, we're going to put a chocolate frosting on it. You got to know how to
just read your room.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
Because again, if you're in it, that's why I don't do. I'm a political person, but I do not do politics on stage.
No, there's no way.
You would never know my political affiliation if you listen to my stand-up comedy.
Really?
You would have no idea. You would think that I'm some wild libertarian psycho, and I live that way. I do live that way.
Do you pull from that a little bit though? Like what you see out in politics, do you kind of make jokes out of it?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, because I have seen, my side job besides this is I do produce 2 political radio shows, and when I tell you, I sit there and think to myself like, oh my god, if I'm a comedian, I could just tear into this story.
Guys. Yeah, you would yeah. Well, like right now, after my banning and stuff, I'm tracking again on social media because all my bands are lifting. So like last night, I got 4, 5, 6,000 views on one video where I'm talking about how yesterday California did a bunch of raids on tobacco shops.
Right.
For menthol cigarettes. Menthol cigarettes and vape.
You know how many of my friends would die right now for a menthol cigarette?
I brought back 3 cartons of menthol cigarettes and I sold them for $25 each.
Oh, I have so many friends.
Capitalist, baby.
You got any left, dude? I'll take one of those.
I was just to say,
I'm
like,
done.
so many people look at it like it's a piece of gum and you're in high school against. Is that a menthol?
Is that a menthol?
Oh my god!
No, I was gonna be the guy that gets fired for selling Lucy's.
Oh man, is there any location that's still on your bucket list? I mean, I know you say you want to travel and whatnot. Are there any spots that you like kind of hope that you can book one day?
Oh, of course, the Cellar.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about the Cellar a few times, just hanging out. The Comedy Cellar in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yes. See, again, I'm an O&A guy. I'm the table guy. I'm a Patrice O'Neill call. I'm the mafioso table where I want all the comics at a table and we just beat the crap out of each other. It's like a scene of the Goodfellas.
That would be a great YouTube series if you just got a table of like 4 to 6 comedians and just have them all roast each other for a while.
And that all happened because Patrice O'Neill, again, my favorite, he's my goat.
Yes.
He got banned from the club and he said, all right, you're not going to ban me. So he would go hang out outside the club and the owner would have a problem with everybody hanging out outside the club instead of being inside. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to give these meatballs a table and they just rope them off.
Let me give the animals a cage.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just keep the liquor and food flowing.
Heck yeah. And that's when you get all the content, man.
That's my style. That's what I like.
That's so cool. Are you going to be there tonight on Monday or at Major Life Mondays?
I'm going to try and come back tonight.
Are you?
I really am. Cause I got to drive back, but it's 4:20. I ain't got nothing to do tonight.
You might as well stick around so people can catch you here in Bakersfield, which Made You Laugh Mondays is where?
Made You Laugh Mondays at Firehouse Rosedale Station on 2905 Callaway. We'll be starting at 6:30 signups. Usually me and Tyson are there hanging out at 6, and show starts at 7. And
Fantastic.
don't forget the burger and fries special.
No, absolutely. And if you are curious, yes, you can go upstairs and sit down and get your food and all of that. You don't have to go up, down all the stairs. And all that type
we
of
have
stuff to get your stuff.
Yeah, we have a waitress up there. She hangs out. She's cool. I'm not sure who we'll have this week. It's a
Tyson?
rotating. It's probably Tyson.
Tyson,
they're
the
gonna put him in
waitress
a.
dress.
They're gonna put him in a cute little pair of short shorts. It's gonna be great.
No.
And I have to ask you, because we haven't talked to you since, but how did the roast go?
I don't want to talk about it.
Mhm.
We
heard last week.
I feel like Tyson after the Buster Douglas fight. Like I was not prepared for what he was gonna throw at me, and I overestimated or I underestimated him a little bit. I will not deny that. I was like, I can have 5-6 good ones. I'll be fine.
Did you pull your punches? Like what are we talking about here?
It was I didn't take the preparation seriously enough. I didn't hit the gym hard enough beforehand.
You were on this show saying, "Hey, thanks for the game tape, Andrew," and you didn't watch the game tape?
I did, but that only gave me a couple jokes, and I had like 6 to 8. I had like 6 to 8 that I was like, these are good, these are going to be fine, and they were just a little lengthy. And he was hitting me with quick, snappy combinations, and my knees gave out on me.
I want you to know, because I'm sure he's going to be watching this later. He did comment on our video on Thursday and said, "I told you guys I'd be coming for the throat." And that's why I'm saying, man, I'm disappointed in you.
All props to that guy. I feel like it was a trap game for me.
Right.
I didn't fully take him seriously. I will admit that.
That's what it sounded like.
You were the one that started the whole thing, or not like you didn't start it, but you guys were the ones that inspired them to make the show.
Because
man.
we just started randomly chalking trash, and I clearly didn't take him seriously enough.
Clearly.
That's on me. I'll admit that.
So watch out for whoever gets you next round.
Yeah, I'm gonna be angry next time. It's gonna happen. Someone's
Angry
going
Tiger.
down.
Don't go down like the
Yeah,
Detroit Tigers,
yeah,
man. Don't
no.
be that way. Come on, we
No,
need
no,
a championship out of you.
He'll come out swinging
I
this
feel
time.
like this is going to be like after a good like Big Ten team takes a bad loss to like Northwestern, and then the next team that they get them just gets pummeled. Like it's going to be one of those.
Are we going to see Mike Izzo type basketball here? Is that what we're saying?
Maybe
one day. Tony, are you going to be part of this at some point? We're going to see you up there roast battling some of these other comics.
I mean, if they'll have me, I used to do roast battles, but
I think we need some blood up there, man.
I lose roast battles because people feel bad for the other person.
Oh.
I've actually had a thing with like, you did really well, but I mean, do you have to hit that hard? I'm like, do you understand? I babysit this person's children. Okay?
Oh, they said this to you at a roast against Jeremiah
And Cammy.
Oh,
whoa!
Yeah, they're like, yeah, that was really mean. I go, you laughed though. Yeah.
What was the joke that made them say it was mean?
Uh-oh.
I'm curious. You don't have to if it's that bad.
That she was talking about. First of all, this is a woman who looks like an armadillo. She sheds skin. She sheds skin.
Okay, if it's going after Cammy, I can see why people would pull back a little bit on that. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, right. No, Cammy is the reason why Laos, the country, should be shut down forever. But she was talking about how she had a baby and the baby had really wide shoulders.
Uh-huh.
And I go, yeah, I know. I feel for that child because it's going to need those wide shoulders to carry you as soon as he can get a job. And yeah, I mean, I love her. I babysit the kid.
Right.
The kid's name is Emmett after Emmett Smith. And because the people don't know that. And so I'm like, you know what?
That's fantastic. I mean, again, though, those are the jokes that you need to come with, Trevor.
Again, it should have been snappier. It should have been quicker. Although I just realized something. Are you saying that multiple comics in Tulare and Visalia trust you with their children?
Yeah. Yes.
Look at this man. He could be a babysitter. You never know.
For real. I know. Again, people think I'm so.
That could be your wacky uncle.
Dude, I'm the kid at the Thanksgiving festival that has all the kids doing Lion King skits and dressing up and stuff like that. And then I send them off, then I'll go have a smoke in the corner. And then, hey, you little scallions go run around.
It's better than that, or better that than just sit him in front of a tablet or a television.
Yeah.
Come on now, man. That is some key parenting right there, Trevor. One more time, Made You Laugh Mondays tonight at Firehouse on Rosedale. Who will be there besides yourself?
So myself, Tyson Hayes, John Hacker, Andrew Boydston,
nice.
Smashy P, Nathaniel Webb's always there. I'm trying to
Who
think.
did we have last week that said they were going to be popping up that came in with Tyson? I can't remember. Do you remember who Tyson brought in last week? I cannot remember his name right now.
Was
I
that
apologize.
Fabian?
Fabian, yes.
Fabian will be there. Andrew Idell will be there. You know,
Oh.
all the usual suspects will be there. It'll be a great time.
So there's going to be jokes about you, I'm taking.
There's jokes about me every week.
Every time.
Yes.
The only question is it going to be about me, my love life, the set list, or the flyer that week? It's going to be one of those four things.
True.
You're going to see at least two comics taking a swing at me. Let's see if I get frustrated at it or not.
We will see. And then shift over to sports real quick before we let you guys go. How do you feel about your Tigers? Didn't you guys just lock up the rookie the other day?
I believe we did. Yeah. Hey, just building pieces, building for the future. It's a good young team, but hey, let's see if we can make a run this year. I'm
Throwing
excited.
all that money at a rookie instead of Tarek Skubal, huh?
I mean, yeah, I'm a little intrigued because I don't know. Have we learned the lessons we learned from Miguel Cabrera? Have we not? No, probably not.
You have not.
We're throwing money at all the wrong people again.
You realize this boy is headed for one team, and if the Dodgers pull in one more superstar, we're not going to have a baseball season. They're just going to shut it down because every team's going to say, "What's the point?
Why? Why even try?"
I mean, at this point, just pay the man. You could pay the rookie $150 million. Although I like what you guys are doing because the Pittsburgh Pirates did the same thing. You might as well lock in these young guys for a long period of time, so that way you know they're not going anywhere.
Exactly. I think part of that is also me just trying to come to grips with the Red Wings missing the playoffs. Like I think that I'm still dealing with that shock.
That was the first time in what, like almost. It's been a couple of years at least.
Oh no, they haven't made the playoffs for a while. But the collapse they had.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. Like this continues the streak for how long?
Yeah, I think it's been 5-6 years now.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That is weird to say when it comes to the
and the
Detroit
fact
Red Wings.
that Stevie Y was the GM for 3 of those is just mind-boggling.
And I do not have nearly enough time to get into NHL stuff with you, unfortunately. But do you follow any sports, my friend?
Oh, dude, I watched ESPN for 13 years straight.
Attaboy. Any favorite teams or?
I'm a Lakers, Rams, Giants fan.
How do you feel about the Lakers pulling off game 1?
To be honest with you, I haven't been following sports lately. I'm jaded. To be honest with you, when it comes to sports, all I want to talk about is Mayweather and his money problems.
Okay.
And Tiger Woods.
Well, we could talk about that real quick because Mayweather, I mean, Pacquiao just came out last week talking about why they're doing this. And
are they going to fight?
Oh yeah, they're doing this fight, and he claims it's a rematch fight for the last one because Pacquiao claims he was injured during that fight, and they didn't get the fight that was actually promised, and that's why he wants to do this fight with Mayweather. We have been on this show many times saying that Mayweather's just out of money, and this boy needs some sort of
he is
pay
absolutely
money.
Out of money.
How do you
the
lose?
Guy who used to force us, watching him leave Las Vegas casinos with pull carts full of cash money bags, a guy who made us watch him throw money over his shoulders at clubs, now wants us to do a suspension of disbelief and believe that this isn't the seniors PGA boxing league and that him and Manny Pacquiao are going to get it on one last time because Manny was hurt, 10 years ago?
Anything to sell tickets.
Dude, I'm telling you,
this stinks of another Mike Tyson Paul fight. And the thing is with Mike Tyson, I'll give Mike the money because I love him and I want him to recoup the money that was stolen.
Right.
Mayweather, he gets nothing.
He gets nothing.
Well, see, and what's the other fight that he signed on for too? Because there's
he'll sign anything
fights.
right now. He needs money.
There's the Pacquiao fight. There's another one because he's coming back to boxing.
He's gonna fight 3 homeless guys outside the Lakers playoff game.
Yeah, he'll fight Rousey next.
Throw money at him on the floor.
How much gambling?
Oh, we can get into Ronda too at the same
Stripper
time,
money. I mean, he needs his money back.
Because Ronda said the same thing. Ronda claims that the Gina Carano fight is because her end to her MMA career didn't go the way she wanted it to. She wants it to go, or she wants to be seen more in a positive light, whereas her ending to it was really negative with the way she walked away from the UFC, joined the WWE, and was just bad-mouthing Dana, and continues to bad-mouth Dana even to this day. So it's weird to hear her and Manny and Mayweather and all these people come out and say, oh yeah, I burnt a bridge, but you know what? I still need that money that it used to come with, so I'm going to have to find a different route to make it.
And now I want to rebuild that bridge with half the talent and age going against me. It's like, nah, you don't get it. Sorry.
It's incredible. And then the Tiger Woods situation. I mean,
the fact that he was on the phone with Donnie.
Or trying to be on the phone with Donald.
Yeah, it's amazing. And again,
Sorry, I was talking to the president.
Yeah, exactly.
it's just that's such an amazing thing. I mean, I honestly believe that this Tiger Woods isn't the original Tiger Woods we grew up with.
No.
This is an alternate universe Star Trek evil Tiger Woods.
What's that movie that Jordan Peele made? Us or Up or what was that one? What with the doppelgangers?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
So, dude, because look, and not only that is when it all went down, people were like, why is Tiger driving alone? Why doesn't he have a driver? I'll tell you why he doesn't have a driver, and I'll skip the golf joke. It's not because he doesn't have a wedge. He doesn't have a wedge.
That's what I was waiting on.
Waka.
Waka.
It's like, no. Come on, you guys know. You said yourself. You know his history.
Yeah.
You know why. You guys know why.
No, he's out
Why
there.
do men drive around at night under the influence of anything with no driver?
Yeah.
It's because he was out hunting, doing some tiger hunting.
Yep.
Going out finding some waitresses,
Absolutely.
some Cracker Barrel waitresses.
What Waffle House is open tonight in June?
I love Tiger. I just wish you'd go full alternate universe evil Tiger.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Golf with the shirt that says
Just
I
lean into it.
heart White Kitty and just be that man. I love him.
Oh man, well, we said the same thing, especially with everything going on legally, because now they're looking into his prescriptions and seeing if he's taking what he's supposed to be taking or something he's not supposed to be taking, rather. And I said it on this show too. If they look at one of those pill bottles and they say, "Do not operate heavy machinery or drive a car,"
They
he's
all say it.
screwed.
Oh, he's done for.
absolutely screwed.
The same warning is on mel enhancement pills.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
Tiger.
They all say it.
There's no out. The only out he has is because it's who he is. I want it to be an amazing amount. I want to find out that he had an amazing amount of prescription drugs in him. Something that a golfing champion legend would have in him.
But you're right. I mean, to get out of the car, look at the police and say, "Sorry, I was on the phone with the president."
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Why would you tell a cop you're on the phone at all? First of all,
Yeah. Hey, Donnie, can you put aside your battle with the new world order? And
I was on the phone with your boss. Like,
I need some help with my DUI.
Yeah.
Forget Iran.
Oh, Tiger again.
Yeah.
Oh no! Now thinking about that, what I want, Tony, is I want to have a series of like Hollywood celebrities responding to what is found in Tiger Woods' house. Like I want to see Robert Downey Jr. going, "They found what?"
Yeah.
MTV Cribs, but just Tiger's home. That's it.
I could just imagine the first. I'll end on this. This is the first thing that Tiger said when he got Donald Trump on the phone. He's all, "Donnie, I'm in the sand trap."
I was waiting for it.
Oh,
served.
man.
So Make You Laugh Monday tonight.
Tonight, sign-ups at 6:30, show at 7. Come for the burger and fries special. Stay for the great comedy, and hopefully Tony will get enough sleep to be there.
Absolutely. Tony, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Trevor, we'll see you in 2 weeks, my friend.
Yep.
We have to take a break, though. On the other side, we will talk to Snacks a little bit more about this NBA playoff situation. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk.
Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. Want to thank our guests of the day, Trevor and Tony, for joining us for Major Laugh Mondays. Go out to Major Laugh Mondays at the Firehouse on Rosedale. They are
I need to try
upstairs.
those burgers, man.
They are fantastic.
Are they? I've never been.
Oh, Firehouse is fantastic in general. The food there has been so good, especially just potato skins in the burgers. And I don't have nearly enough time to break it down for you. Maybe if we can get to it after we talk to our next guest, maybe we can we'll figure
down
that
the menu.
out. We'll run
We
down
got
the
our
menu for
boys
you.
Snacks talking. The NBA playoffs has began.
Yes, sir. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
So I tried to say this last week, but nobody believed me. And now after the upset last night, I think people are starting to open their eyes. But are the Pistons in trouble?
No,
Not
I
yet.
don't think so.
I'm just saying, JB Bickerstaff is 9-19 in the playoffs.
Why do you think that is, though?
You can't say it's from lack of
what changes
talent.
the coach around in the playoffs?
You can't say it was lack of
Is
talent,
he the
though.
James Harden of coaching?
The James Harden coaches. Yeah, I don't, because I really genuinely want to know what changed you as a coach in the playoffs. Like, what are you trying to change your scheme around, or overthinking it? Like,
Maybe not the urgency.
Maybe if I had to guess, I'm thinking he is a defensive-minded coach through and through, and that is what I saw when he was the head coach of Cleveland. But the one thing that I will say is that he gets very ISO heavy, which is why you saw guys like Cade Cunningham drop 40 last night. Because if someone's got the hot hand, he'll roll with it. He doesn't have a very good offensive-minded game plan, so maybe that's why, especially since teams wake up during the playoffs and now everybody's playing defense, not just you.
yeah, and I mean, everybody brings it differently, of course, in the playoffs. I mean, we got that in the playing games. I was going to text you guys, like, why can't we get this all season? Like, why
Right.
can't we get this level
100%.
of NBA?
Absolutely. And it
All
really
season.
and it shows which teams are actually competitive and, are teams you should really be worried about to make it to the finals rather than, what we saw in the regular season with the Detroit Pistons.
It's like what we've seen from Philadelphia.
Well, this again. Well, I was one of the ones that was raving about Orlando earlier in the season,
Yes,
and like
absolutely.
nobody's like, really? And
No,
I was
absolutely.
like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And I don't think Orlando's ever been a fluke. They just hit a quote unquote rock bottom stage with the injuries that they have. But now that they're getting their pieces back, I always thought Orlando was one of the top teams in the East, and so now we're starting to see what I've kind of been like. What I've been seeing a little bit. So
absolutely.
I really call it an upset. I think we're just finally seeing that Orlando team that we were seeing at the beginning of the season come back to life now that they're getting their pieces back.
Right.
So.
Well, and I agree with you. I said it at the end of last season, especially when we were all talking about who was going to be the team to step up in the East, with the Celtics being being without Tatum for the vast majority of the season. The Pacers didn't have Halliburton. I agreed with you. I thought the Magic would be one of those teams, especially when they traded for Desmond Bane and got a pure scorer over there. But I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why I was talking about that last week when we looked at the play-in tournament and saw the 76ers and the Magic. That was the point I was trying to make, was neither of those teams really want to see the Celtics right now because the Celtics are playing so well. But on the opposite side of it, they both would really love to see the Pistons because the Pistons are an unproven team, whereas teams like the Magic have been desperately looking for a playoff win to really kickstart this new era for them. And this could be the perfect way to do it. Go up against a young team that's really built like you, but you have more experience in the playoffs and more proven scorers.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the best series in this first round to watch because both teams are defensive teams.
Mm-hmm.
They get after it. It's kind of like the old '90s NBA. So this series is the one I'm probably going to be watching the most because it's probably going to be the most exciting.
I would say the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing with the Rockets, Lakers, and as well as New York and Atlanta. I think those are all be good series.
Yeah, I agree with those too. I mean, as we're going to watch anything, those will be the other two series that I'll keep an eye on too. And that first Trailblazer game wasn't a bad one from the jump.
That's gonna be an
took
interesting
off.
series, man.
Dude, and I just have to say it, man. I love those old school Spurs uniforms.
So
Yeah,
nice.
man. Yeah, they did it right.
Well, the way they set up the crowd too with all the T-shirts, it was really fun to look at. And how do you feel about Wemby's kind of what he's trying to do to American fandom right now with basketball? Because what he's doing is he's created this group of like super fans essentially for the Spurs that are in charge of doing all of this for all of these games and essentially leading the chants and all of that and trying to make it more of a European style fan rather than the American fan.
He's got the involvement.
The involvement of it all.
I love it because I think that's one reason we like college basketball because it's much more exciting to be a part of.
There's more energy.
And when I watch games overseas, even in soccer, that's the reason I want to go to a soccer game. I know nothing about soccer, but the experience seems amazing. So I love it. I hope it actually translates over to the NBA where, fans won't seem so, uptight, sitting there, all prestigious and actually enjoy the game. Be a fan, but not yelling at players and throwing things away.
Because that's been a problem as well.
But, the answer is short. I hope it really translates because, can you imagine watching the game at home? You're like, okay, that's lit. I want to go to a game now. Right. And I think the Clippers are slowly, where they created their whole fan section behind one of the rims where I think they were trying to do it. But, of course, Wemby coming from that kind of knows how to emulate it over here in the American game.
Right. The wall that I still haven't actually seen that in person, but from what it's supposed to do, that is pretty menacing to have to look at, if I'm being honest, especially if you have to look at it while shooting free throws.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
On the game side of it, though, the Portland Trailblazers and the Spurs, do the Trailblazers have a chance in this series at all? I mean, I know they're a team that's usually one that spreads the ball around, and it's really hard to tell who's going to go off at what particular time. But can they figure out a way to upset Wemby and the Spurs, or are the Spurs going to make it past them?
The Spurs will make it past them. Now, I think the Trailblazers, they'll pull out at least one game, one or maybe two games. But them and the 76ers, I don't think they stand a chance in the playoffs. I think they just work their way in, and it was an extra team added, and we move on. So the Spurs and the Celtics probably got a easy way out right now compared to the top teams in the West and the East and the West.
So Sparky asked me this question. I'll ask it to you. Who do you see getting out of the West?
Into the finals?
Yes. Yeah, not winning the whole thing, but who's winning the Western Conference this year?
I'm sticking with my Spurs. I believe that's what I said last week. I think they just have the juice. They're playing with a lot of energy. The chemistry is right. OKC is up and down with injuries. They still have their chemistry and whatnot. And of course, you can't go too far away from with SGA, but I think it's run its course. And then again, even if OKC does win it, that team is going to get broken up this year because all those players are going to start asking for more money, and there's no way you're going to be able to keep everybody. But I believe the Spurs are going to come out the West this year.
And with the lottery and the earlier trades, I mean, they very well could be get a top 10 pick again in this draft. But even thinking about OKC, because OKC is going to be sometime in the mix. But another team that I'm not hearing a lot about is Denver. I think if Denver can put something together, that might be a team to watch out for in the West. But over in the East, I mean, it's everybody pretty much rolling with Boston. Do you see anybody else, sneaking in there, giving Boston a battle?
Yeah, I don't. I have to agree with everyone else because one, they have the experience. Two, they're technically still young. They're not like an older team, and I think they just know how to do it, man. They spread you out and just backdoor you, and they knock down shots, and that's really, really hard to guard when you got a spread floor and you coming off pick and rolls. Who do I guard? If I got to pick up Tatum, penetrating to the lane, but he can kick out to anybody and knock down a shot. So that's really hard to guard in the East. And if you look at some of these teams, it's a lot of these teams' first time in the playoffs in a very long time. Like the Hawks, when was the last time we seen the Hawks in the playoffs? The Raptors been in a couple of times. But like the Magic, they haven't been in a while. The Pistons, this is the first time they've been the number 1 seed in years. I think Boston will come out the East now that they have all their pieces back. And I got Spurs, Boston in the finals, and probably Boston taking it all.
I think that's a safe bet right now, to be honest. I don't know about Boston taking it all, but the 2 seeds winning it in their conferences and making it to the finals, I could absolutely see that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
it's tough to.
I mean, at the end of it all, at least you know you're getting good basketball because Spurs against
and that's all we asked for.
Yeah, Spurs and Celtics would be a great series in the finals.
Yeah, and that's all we ever asked for. Come June, we just, as we close it out, we like, all right, we got to deal with baseball. So here we go. Just give us something good.
So if it does happen that way, and Wemby makes it to the finals and loses, do you think that's going to be a negative thing on his career? Because you know how fickle NBA fans are and how fickle the commentary is from a lot of pundits. I feel like if he ends up having more of these losing situations, especially early in his career, everybody's going to start doubting him, and we're not going to get the transition that people were hoping for.
For me, I think it's about the teams you lose to. Like, what pieces did they have? And I was like, does your team match up with that? And I think if you're a realistic person or a realistic fan, you look at the other side and like, okay, that's Boston, that's Tatum, that's Brown, that's
right.
that team has done it 3 times now. Like, so I can't really be mad at them. And then it took Jordan 3 times to, before he even won his first one.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you're getting the team there, I think you should relax as fans, because there's so many other fans that would love to be in that position. And to know that you have a type of player that can get you there. And he's still young, so you have a lot of time to win it. Wemby's going to win the championship, whether it's with the Spurs or with somebody else. He's going to win. He's just too good not to.
Right.
He just needs the right pieces around him. And I wouldn't say another superstar around him or another star. He just needs the right, kind of like Tatum and Brown. They just got the right pieces around them. They don't really have other superstars outside of those 2. They just got guys that can knock down shots. They play their role. They get the ball to where they need to be. They play on the defensive end, and they get the job done. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's those core parts.
Yeah.
Those
I think Wemby will win one, whether it's this year or in the future. But as a fan, you really have to take a step back and look at the opponent.
Mm.
Like, now, if they go to, now let's just say they go to the finals and they play against the Magic or the Cavaliers, just for whatever reason, and then they lose to them, it's like, okay, come on, bro. Like, I couldn't beat them.
Right. I can see that too.
I'll try not to take that as an insult.
But something like Boston is like, okay, I get it.
Look, man, if my Cavs can make it to the finals, we have a chance to win the finals, and I will stand by that no matter who we are playing on the Western Conference. I don't believe we have a chance in hell.
You got an easy road.
You got a much easier road. I will give you that. It is a much easier road than the Knicks and some of these other teams. And that's my final question for you, my friend. We were talking about this earlier, but the potential of the Knicks having to go up against the Boston Celtics in round 2 when they inevitably beat the Hawks in round 1. If they lose that series, we've talked about it, that there's a potential they blow up that roster and find a new way to go about this. But I argue that with Giannis Antetokounmpo out in play, obviously they're going to be going for him, but I think the team they're currently playing right now in the Atlanta Hawks are also going to be a contender to pull it off. Which one of those teams do you think has a better chance to make this trade happen? And if they do, does Giannis change the trajectory of either one of those teams and push them into a finals in the next couple years?
This is a good bad situation for Giannis, because to answer the first part, I think he'll go to New York because there's more branding, more marketing, more money off the court.
Fair. If he has anything to say about it, absolutely.
Yeah. So the sucky part about it is that if you blow up that team, he's really pretty much walking into the same situation as he is in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any players around him.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to be able to keep Brunson and Townsend and pieces like that, because granted, New York has a lot of money. I don't think you want to spend that much that money. So I think New York has to figure out who they want to keep before they go after them and who they want to get rid of Because I think preferably he would want to end up in New York again for off the court money reasons, for the branding again and endorsements. But again, you're walking into the same thing on both teams, honestly, Atlanta and New York, because Atlanta don't really have any pieces that people are worried about right now. And then if you bring him in, you're still going to have to get rid of some things.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you bring in to help him to come in Atlanta? And he might have a better. It might be better for him going to Atlanta because they can, build a little bit more around him. But New York people are going to want more money, of course, with taxes and all that craziness. So I don't know. I see him choosing New York because of those reasons, but it's still walking into he's still walking into the same issue that he's dealing with in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
For another 3 years at least, until they can build. Basically, they're going to have to build around that. And that's going to take some time.
You're absolutely right. And honestly, with him going to the Knicks, I feel like it would be more of a win a championship right now kind of a situation, depending on who they trade away to make that trade happen. I just argue that the Hawks probably have more enticing things in pieces and draft capital that will make Milwaukee second guess that trade to New York and say, maybe we're better off shipping out some of those pieces to Atlanta so we get all those young pieces to help us start our rebuild at the same time.
Or is it going to be one of these teams that we're not talking about that has a couple core pieces? Maybe it is. I mean, I think it was KG yesterday that brought up like the Lakers or somebody like that.
If KG's right and the Lakers pull off some craziness where they trade LeBron James for Giannis Antetokounmpo and it works out for him, I don't know what I'll do next season. It's going to be really weird to watch, if I'm being honest.
That'll be very interesting to watch. If any trade happened with LeBron, it'd probably be back to
Cleveland. Yeah, I think the same thing. Game 2s you'll see tonight: Raptors in Cleveland, Hawks and Knicks, Timberwolves and Nuggets, all of which are on Peacock. What are your thoughts on these games tonight, my friend? Who wins Game 2?
Well, it's going to take me 2 days to find them, but
that's what's been my issue.
They're all on Peacock tonight.
That's what's been my issue. Is like, is it on Prime? Is it on Peacock? Like, is it on HBO?
This is saying here every single one of them is supposed to be on NBC and Peacock. So it's one location tonight, boys. One location.
Right.
So Cavs Raptors.
I just can't. Where are we starting? Sorry, Cavs Raptors.
Cavs Raptors. Who you got?
I'll go Cavs again. They're playing at home, right?
Yes, it's still in Cleveland, and then after this, they'll be shipping out and headed to Toronto.
Okay, I got Cavs again. And who was the other ones? I'm sorry.
Hawks and Knicks, and then Timberwolves and Nuggets.
I just don't see the Hawks coming out of this one, so I got the Knicks again, and then Nuggets on that one. I don't know. The Timberwolves just have a hard time with the Nuggets. I don't know why they can't figure it out. And I think the Nuggets just bring a whole different game when it comes to the playoffs, but. This is like the third time we've seen them face off against each other, and whether it was first round, second round.
And I haven't seen an update.
They can't,
because I know Ant got hurt towards the end of that game, so I'm not sure if he's 100% if he's going to be playing. But yeah, you just said it. I mean, they've had issues with Denver in the past.
It's a matchup thing, man. It's Rudy Gobert can't guard Jokic. I love Ant, but him against Jamal Murray is a rough matchup as well. I just don't know if they have the matchups necessary to really beat the Nuggets.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
But see,
that's what I was coming to say next.
How many times have they got to beat them? How many times they got to beat them until they we need this?
Here's the thing, though. NBA expands. We might be seeing Minnesota on the Eastern Conference side in the next couple seasons, and they'll be matching up with Jason Tatum instead.
Yeah, well, I actually would like them in the East better than the West anyway. The East needs a little.
Could you imagine Anthony Edwards going up against Donovan Mitchell and Cade Cunningham on his way to the finals?
And I just think he fits the East. His attitude, his game fits the East better.
It really does. And there's just something about Minnesota that it's the same thing. Like I look at them and I'm just like, you belong in the Eastern Conference. I don't know why, but you do.
Yeah, they belong in the Eastern Conference. They're just the attitude and their makeup just belongs in the Eastern Conference.
I could say the same thing about Memphis because I know that's the other team they're kind of flirting with moving over there.
Saying that too. Yeah.
I think Minnesota is the team that needs to move over to the East, if I'm being honest. Sir, we have run out of time, though. We appreciate yours, and we will talk to you next week.
Always, so. Thank you.
Absolutely. We got to get out of here for the day. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you as always. Join us tomorrow, 7 to 9. KG will be in here at 8 o'clock to talk WrestleMania and the Raw after WrestleMania, which will be live tonight.
Which is usually the most exciting one.
Absolutely. It'll be on Netflix live from Las Vegas. We'll see what happens with the turmoil of CM Punk and Roman Reigns, what's going to happen with the aftermath of that.
I know they're going to be talking with Paul Heyman about the whole Brock retirement.
Absolutely. We're going to get an answer on, did we know Brock was going to retire, or was this a surprise even to them? Because there's a piece of me that believes that Brock kept that to himself. And he didn't want the WWE making a big old spectacle out of his retirement. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do and walk away. And we're going to see if Gunther is going to be a little irate by this, because I do believe the deal was to get a match done, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar for his retirement. And now with that off the table, the career killer's looking for one last, head.
Maybe we see some of this Dom Rey Mysterio start stirring up.
Yeah, possibility. And we might see the Demon Finn Balor pop up over his shoulder a couple times tonight too. Who knows? Check it out on Netflix. We got to get out of here. Join us tomorrow morning at 7. Sparky, let's get out of here.